Oh boy. Right, well, here we are again. Internalists. Back in the cupboard. Like they should be. Unfortunately now I have to choose a movie. And I'm not doing Dragon Wars. Sorry, Meeks. I'm half tempted to go back to your Eliminators disc so we can have another one of these. Or maybe back even further to the Nightmare at Noon disc, because Talons of the Eagle looked interesting. These two looked crap.
Got the lovely sound of Ted licking himself in the background for this entire scene.
He just wants to be part of the show. Just wants to be part of the show. And then he leaves. Okay, fine. Alright. I think we're gonna go Arena. One of the ones I think you wished you'd picked.
I wish I'd picked any of the other three once we watched it.
Simply because...
Although, I will say, after watching some of the other things we've watched, Eliminators isn't that bad.
Considering some of the crap we've seen, Eliminators wasn't that.
But Arena, I mean, that does look fun.
And now Kiss. Arena. Far in the future, on a distant world, the best fighters in the universe compete in a gladiator-like sport called Arena. Steve Armstrong is the first Earthling good enough to be a contender, but an extraterrestrial crime lord seeks to end Steve's career for good. So...
I was slowly drifting down at one point onto Eliminators there.
Just because you can't get enough.
Because you can't get enough, yeah.
I don't know if the light you can see, but one of the things that was lost was you adding a question mark to Eliminators.
You can just about see the question mark, sort of. Because
that was a thing, briefly, was you were going to add a question mark to things that were sort of okay, and we kind of put pay to that, because you can't see that question mark. Maybe if I move it back and forth. So yeah, 1989, 97 minutes, PG-13. Oh, it's on the same disc as Eliminators.
Oh, good.
So that's good. Oh, I don't need to do that now.
Ooh.
Arena.
Topless men.
Boobs.
Boobs.
Who's in it? It doesn't even say.
I'm actually looking forward to that now.
Arena. Well, I thought, yeah, I think it'd be good.
Should I stop?
Oh, are you still recording?
Yeah,
you can stop. Nope.
Aww.
Arena!
That is an awful font, and it's so dark I can barely see anything. Okay.
Paul Satterfield.
Him, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she's from Babylon 5.
There she is. That's Susan what's her name?
Susan
Haldon Camp. He's featured in a one that we've done before. Do you want to stab at a guess?
And nearly the That's Sculpted Cat from DS9.
Yeah, it is.
Marc Alaimo. And that's Quark from DS9 and like so many other things, Armin Shimerman.
I've been waiting for
Correct people, yes.
Hooey!
Oh, never.
He's Robot L. He's actually in every like kids show you grew up with. He's a voiceover artist who just does everything.
Oh, the engine's very Corellian Corvette from Star Wars.
You
I couldn't-
nerd.
Couldn't see the rest of the ship, but
You nerd. Oh! Okay, yeah. I mean, he's the one who he directed Eliminators, so
oh,
it's on the same disc, so I shouldn't have been surprised.
okay, yeah. Oh my
Get
god!
him! Fucking get him! Nice. Cyborg Minotaur versus RoboCop Blob Monster. The quick time. Was that 6-time champion Horn?
Yes, I think that's what you said.
Horn.
Horn.
Yeah. They didn't really push the boat out far with the naming. Wow, that is a space cantina. Oh, right in the
Oh,
Robo Nuts.
Score, horn to horn. Score now stands, horn 2, spinner 0.
Horn 2, Spinner
Horn
0.
versus Spinner.
In order to balance strength between species, the arena uses the Sisco 3000 handicapping system. The handicappers decrease a fighter's strength, keeping
How?
the match competitive, with the fighters evenly classed.
Okay.
Horn is fighting at a disadvantage rating of 0.25 cal.
Ah, Ducat. Ducat looking like a vampire.
How's it going, Spinner?
What? That's Quark.
Where are you? Weasel,
Right here, Mr. Rogor.
listen to me. Do it.
Right away, sir.
Quick! Call security, quick!
I didn't believe this. Where's the commissioner?
Quinn, I'm trying.
Commissioner Dent to the red column.
Why is it Quinn's job to call security? Surely there's actually just security that would be watching these fights.
Something, Vinny. We did not lose. We were victimized. Horn is an animal. Should not be allowed to ring.
What?
To file a formal complaint with the commission?
Commission? What commission? Where's Commissioner Dent anyway? When is he gonna start?
So he asked her to call to get security. Instead, she did an interview for Space TV.
Hey, you want to eat this food or wear it?
He's trashing his own restaurant, though.
Apparently, there is no security in this world.
Hell.
Yeah,
That's how you
okay.
handle customer complaints.
Like you said, though, he's trashing the restaurant. That restaurant's going to be out a lot of money.
Violation of your service contracts. Employment is terminated.
You're fired.
Found out one thing, Shorty.
What's that?
Not cut out to be a short order cook.
Who was?
We'll get another job elsewhere.
Welcome to my world.
Do you have to kick that open every time you go home?
I heard about this place, but I didn't think that it
That it
existed.
existed? I tell you something, young man. Many people don't have any place else to go.
You Steve Armstrong?
Yeah.
You're in some sort of vagrancy, like underground thing. What do you mean? Yes. Never heard of him. Or I don't know what you're talking about. Or he's not here. What do you mean? Yes. More Earthlings, I'm guessing.
Hey, I heard about you, but I find it very difficult to believe. I mean, an Earthling who can fight. You ever thought about the arena, Steve?
Oh, come on, boss. It ain't gonna work. This guy's a human.
He kicked your butts.
So they aren't humans?
Bang happened to be a hell of a fighter too.
You're talking about arena fighting. It's not for me. I wanted it once, I trained for it my whole life, but after
I wanted it once. I trained for it my whole life, but why in hell would I want to arena fight?
stinks.
Listen, first we take care of business, then we see the sights. Okay? No way, I got him.
sorry, house wins again.
Swordfish.
So is this a secret illegal casino?
It.
Or is it just members only?
Well, it appears to be a raid.
Let's get out of here. You're all under arrest.
Yes, secret and illegal. The film is mostly confusing.
Did they just steal money?
I don't know, because it's mostly confusing. Why does every wall have a secret entrance and exit? There's just secret passages everywhere.
What do you think of that, huh? How did you get that? I'll meet you at the Guzzle Bar in an hour. Just go straight down that vent, see ya.
Why can't you go together?
Mixed up. Never mind.
None of this film makes any sense to me.
Oh, that was a weird.
Oh, well, we're somewhere else now.
Another alien bar.
What?
Oh, God, no. Real strong Star Wars holiday special vibes.
I like you.
Why?
12 hours. If you're not back by then. You understand?
No.
I'll get the money. Don't worry, I'll be back.
I'm not worried. Yet.
Weasel. Well?
Jesus, this film has no time for anything. There's your money, let's go.
My friend had some urgent business, so if you don't mind, we'll just, go.
18,000 Kruger in less than an hour. You should be working for me.
Thanks, but I've already got a job.
Also, don't forget your 13,000 ticket. A really expensive ticket that you've just
The only
left.
thing you ever wanted, which was to go back to Earth. They keep setting up like plot points and then just getting rid of them because they're around. Oh Jesus, we're already in the ring!
No.
We're already in the fucking ring!
What the hell is he fighting?
The grasshopper alien thing.
It's the Earth guy.
It has no time for anything. What the fuck is he wearing though?
He's very wet very quickly.
See, that handicap doesn't seem to be great.
That no human being can compete. That's what's being proven here tonight.
I had no idea the kid was a fighter.
You want to win or what?
Listen, I'm doing
Get out there and fight!
She may be the worst coach of all time.
Just go and fight, you fucking idiot. Now, I don't want to disparage the main actor, but could they have got someone a little more believable as a fighter as the main character? Because, I mean, yeah, I know he's... I know he's hitting a giant puppet, but... He's one of the least believable fighters I've ever seen.
In a fight of him versus the giant puppet is more believable.
Yes. Hence what happened. Oh, this is fucking stupid. I'm reminded of that Krogan fight in Andromeda.
Yes.
I get it, right? They can't film it from any further back, otherwise you'll see how shit the puppet is, but... Oh no, don't slow-mo it. The most embarrassing thing.
What a...
What is even supposed to be happening now? Oh, we're halfway through another fight, Sisco. Or is this a montage? Is this the start of a montage? That's jumping ahead.
Okay, so he's already on 4.
Any explanation of how? Because he was shit in his first one.
I appreciate Armstrong match point is actually off center. You couldn't read it.
Now this is embarrassing.
Fight like this.
Can I fight like this?
Oh, come on, kid.
This is the championship, Steve. It's everything that we've worked for.
So help me get ready.
You know what makes it worse? He really reminds me of Christopher Reeve.
Everybody, stand away, please.
He looks a lot like him. But he could act. Oh, there's the vampire in his box.
Looks as though Armstrong is going to disappoint the crowd tonight.
Isn't that incredibly suspicious, though? Couldn't he think of any better way of fixing this?
But this crowd is growing restless. Now where is the challenger?
Do you know what would be amazing, right? If they put him in and the computer, like, brings the other one right down because he's so fucked up. So you have him drunk, stoned off his face, and the other one can barely move and he's just sort of slapping him. That would be amazing. It's never going to do that, but that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And then his evil plan backfires. All you have to say is the contender was drugged.
Yeah, and you got the PR thing of he was drugged, so
we'll put the fight off for a few days, maybe even a week. I don't know.
Unless they're just gonna have him be so badass that he wins even without.
Well, he seems to be kicking the shit out of the champion, even though apparently he's not at 100%, and he's just a human. Sure. There's no security on any of these things?
Well, it's never been breached ever. So it's the most secure thing. And nobody notices that?
Give me your best gun. Come on, Troy. Come on.
There's something wrong, Wayne. I don't have any strength out there.
It's working you hard. I mean, even with the handicapper, you knew this was going to be a tough fight.
No, it's more than that. I don't have any strength out there.
That's it. You're still sick. I'm calling this match.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna finish this fight.
Why?
It's okay, boss. You can do it.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's go. Let's go.
What?
Oh!
Happened?
That came out of nowhere. He just blew up her brain.
Why did... How?
Look at the handicapper.
They weren't even in the same place.
9.
He's getting up.
Count to 52. Match resumes.
Oh no.
Whoa. That's a great dummy shot.
And nobody finds that suspicious?
No.
3, 4, 5.
He said it for us.
Yeah.
10, 9, match to Armstrong, the new and undefeated champion of the universe.
The new undefeated champion of the universe. Fuck this film. Film ended.
Well, that was...
Hey, it was Jack Carter, the announcer. Okay.
Well, my pick of Eliminators is looking better and better.
Yeah. It's fine. It's all fine.
And the part of Meeks for the second half of this will be played by 10.
Hey. Meeks got replaced by, you know, a fan favourite. Can I?
Yay!
On command.
See, that's why 10's
That's
a fan
why.
favourite.
See? He's better trained than Meeks. Oh shit. The interns get out again?
No, I just fed them. They're still in the cupboard.
Oh. Thought it was Meeks. It's Poe. Kung Fu Panda Meeks. With his rosy red cheeks. I can't leave him there, can I?
There you can. Just staring at people.
Thanks, Meeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so tonight, man versus monster. That's a fucking lie. For 1,000 years, no human has been the champion. He wants to be the first. In the fucking film, he meets the last human champion who was champion 50 years ago.
Yes.
Fuck this film. We didn't love it. By the way, we didn't love it. Right, so.
I mean, my choice of Eliminators is looking so much better right now.
What the fuck kind of movie is that? It's fine, we'll do it properly. We'll do it properly. Hang on. That looks so blurry, we'll do it
That's
properly.
what I was looking at thinking.
That is
so
so blurry.
fucking blurry.
Love this new camera. It's amazing. It's the best. Sisco, what was Arena about?
There is fights, some sort of fighting championship with aliens. Steve Armstrong is a human who wants to be the champion. He starts off as a cook. He gets fired from the job of being a cook for kicking the ass of a father of children that his friend was assaulting. The people that guy turns out to be a fighter. The people who commission that fighter then turn up to beat up King Steve Armstrong. He beats them up. They ask if he can be a fighter for them. He says no, despite the fact that it's his lifelong dream. They steal some money from a gangster. The gangster gets pissed off. He goes back to them to get the money to pay it back. He becomes a fighter. He fights one fight, wins. Then he's fought 20 fights, won them all, and he's #1 champion. Then he fights the champion, and there's a bit of jiggery pokery around trying to rig the fight in favor of the champion, but he wins anyway. The end.
The undisputed champion of the universe.
The new undefeated champion of the universe.
The new undefeated champion of the universe. Fuck this film.
And all of that sounds far more interesting than it really was.
This film is unforgivably boring and dull. And
How's it going, Spinner? What do you think? Can you go another point?
We've lost a lot of hydroline fluid. I mean, I can replace the power.
If it's the only way, just do it.
Okay, boss.
we don't know who the main character is.
No.
And when it opens, like you said, he's in a cafe, in a space cafe, but we don't know where that cafe is. And we don't know who he is, We don't know why he's there, and we don't know why we're supposed to care about him.
No.
The film fails to tell us all this. The film rushes through what tiny amount of plot it has, and then the rest of it is filler. Because it jumps from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene, and they have all these... You said their production values aren't bad for the time.
No.
And their sets are good. And they have so many sets. And it jumps through all of them. You go from the cafe that he's working in until he's not working there anymore almost immediately, to his apartment complex where we leave immediately, to an underground vagrant hangout, to a casino, to a nightclub, to a bad guy's lair, to a gym, to another nightclub, to untold number of different scenes that they're just jumping through. None of them are set up, and we don't know anything about any of them. And at the end of every scene, you're generally left trying to figure out what's happening. Like, if we tried to retell the plot, I don't think I could, because it's literally all over the place. The cafe beats up a customer and his children, gets fired, goes home, doesn't have a home, goes to live with the person he was currently working with, but we get the impression they don't know each other.
Who kind of says he owes him a life debt because he helped him out with a disgruntled customer. And
got him fired.
And now will do anything to repay that life debt.
Brief backup, the over the top beating up of this person. 2 little kids come up to the counter, the little fishy kids.
Yeah.
It's the best way to describe them. And they ask for their food. It's late. It's not what they ordered. Shorty, played by Hamilton Camp, hooey, from Star Crash, throws food at them and then grabs them. The father of the kids come up to him and like, what the hell are you doing to my kids? Get off them. Our hero then starts beating the shit out of the father and kicks him through a plate glass window, which is what gets them fired. These 2 people who we don't know, because this isn't really an introduction to them, then go to Steve's apartment, and Steve learns that his apartment has gone to someone else as he hasn't paid the deposit or whatever. He then takes him underground to a super secret, I was about to say mud hut, it's not mud hut, shacks, because it's made up of...
Slum, but he has...
It's the slums, and he, Shorty, has a house there. Now Steve is going to live with him. Then Steve gets attacked by Claudia, or I should say Quinn.
Yeah.
Quinn, or Susan from Babylon 5, gets beaten up and attempted murder by her men. That's immediately forgotten about because she then offers him a job fighting for her in the arena, which is where we get to that confusing conversation that we just mentioned before, where it's been his lifelong dream and he's worked his entire life to do it, but now he doesn't want to. And you're like, okay, what the fuck is going on? His new lifelong dream is to get back to Earth.
Yes.
Which, again, like rocketing forward, narratively speaking, a whole host of stupid stuff happens in relation to that.
Including one of my, I would caution to say favourite, but because there is no favourite scene in this, but of all the things that happened, this sort of amused me the most, which is that they go to a casino to get some money.
We don't know anything about the casino, where it is, who owns it. We assume it's illegal.
Yeah, but the casino gets raided. Shorty nicks some money from the casino and they both escape through a hole in the wall because there are holes in every single wall in this space station. Everywhere you look, there's an escape route. It turns out they stole from Marc Alaimo, who is the guy who represents the champion, but is also kind of sort of maybe a gangster. It's not really established enough. But
I have no idea.
But he basically goes, "You owe me 18 grand."
Like we've said, everything is rushing. Losing job, blah, 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 blah. Everything just quickly piling up after another. And we're waiting for the narrative to start. So we're like, oh, finally. Now I understand what this film's about. Because this happens.
Yes, so you assume he's going to start fighting to start earning money back.
He needs the money because Shorty's being held hostage.
Yeah,
you have 12 hours.
And then once Steve leaves, he also goes, right, start cutting off his fingers. For no reason, because Steve doesn't know that his fingers are being cut off, so it's not going to speed him up.
It's not incentive for the person who's off getting money if they don't know it's happening.
But anyway, Basically, the very next scene is Steve walking back in with the 18 grand. Literally, that is the end of Shorty being held hostage. Here's your 18 grand.
That's what I'm saying. We thought that was the plot. Finally, we understand what's going to happen. His new friend, although he barely knows him, is now being held by a gangster? We don't know. It's never explained what he is or what he does. He's being held by him, and he's probably going to kill him because he stole money from him. Great. He stole that money, by the way, to buy I almost said train ticket, to buy a space ticket to get Steve back to Earth. The ticket apparently cost like 13 grand, right?
Yes, and
but he stole 18. Ooh, maybe that'll come up later. It doesn't. It's not a plot point. So he's now got them in his super secret lair, and it's like, right, you better go and get that money. You stole money from me. If you don't get that money, I'm going to kill your friend. We know what's supposed to happen now. Now for the next hour of the film or whatever, since he's only got 12 hours to do it, it's going to be him desperately trying to get into the arena. Let me become a fighter. You said you'd let me become a fighter. I need 18 grand. There's no way I'm giving you fucking 18 grand. Are you fucking crazy? None of that. Like Sisco says, the next scene, he's walking back in, there's the money. And we're like, whoa, subplot's finished. What the fuck? And then they just leave. And we're like, well, one, what was the point in that? Two, where was the suspense that something was going to happen? And three, so what, he's just an arena fighter now?
Yeah.
And she gave him 18 grand just like that, even though it's been said multiple times up to this point that humans are shit. They're shit fighters. The last one, you haven't had a human fighter for 50 years, and nobody believes they can do anything. Not only have they not had a champion for 50 years, it's said a couple of times that no human has dared try to set foot in the arena for 50 years. So Robo War.
No, that was no good.
What was no good?
When I started at an angle and rocked back, it was basically... No, that was also not fully dark either. Your fingers are...
No. My fingers are not in the way, trust me. Also,
it's not fully dark.
Your stuff. You're not wearing your stuff. Where's your stuff, Mix?
What stuff?
The stuff you're wearing. We're about to start doing your movie.
Oh, my t-shirt. It's in there. I will be able to switch into it.
You can stop that. The handicapper, which is the machine that it literally tells you, show don't tell. It has a little cutaway section where it explains what it is, and it's a machine that lowers or heightens someone's strength to keep the two fighters even throughout the fight, because different species, different races, different abilities. Great. And you assume then that it's going to be some big plot point. And something does happen with it, but literally nobody gives a shit. It's the thing that keeps the fights fair and safe. So at the end, when the fucking thing is literally exploding and showering sparks onto the audience and dead bodies are falling from the bloody rafters
and
into the crowd and into the ring, you would think, logically, that someone might go, we should possibly stop this fight. One, the official machine has broken. Two, dead bodies are falling. Three, the challenger was drugged super suspiciously to the point of death, pretty much, before the fight. Maybe we should postpone it, or at least put some sort of investigation together and look into it. But nobody cares, because it doesn't matter. That's nothing to do with the film. The film is, he wins, everything else is irrelevant. To the point, so much so, that you don't get to see his fights. You just get a weird montage with letters on the screen that says, he's won his fourth fight. And you're like, we literally just watched his first fight, and he almost lost.
Yeah, you see two fights of his. You see his first fight and the championship fight. The rest of it is... It's not saying it's a montage is being generous, because mostly it's still images. There's tiny little bits of him moving, but there's no real fighting. You see a bit more when he's sparring
It's supposed to be like
again,
it's supposed to be like newspaper headlines, but because it's in space, it's just text on the screen. That's
which brings me to another thing that I hated in this film. I understand why they did it. There's a lot of speeding up the footage, which is fine, but it's done terribly, and there are people in the background moving, and they basically speed them up too. So it's just super obvious that they sped up the footage. It's not subtle. I suppose from a technical standpoint, it's the worst thing in the movie.
And there's a lot of bad things for this to be the worst. Okay, so the fights.
I'm also just...
I get it, right? They can't film it from any further back, otherwise you'll see how shit the puppet is, but... Oh no, don't slow-mo it. Oh, he's kind of dusty. It's fine. It's fine. Perfect. So the fights. Sorry, Mix. Oh no, I messed that up. There you go. He's almost back now. Oh, that's a lusty look, isn't it? I've got a stalker, right? So the fights, which is what you're expecting the film to be about, because it's a fighting film, literally called Arena, man versus monster written on the front, and all the rest of that shit. They're the worst captured fights, and every shot is super close up.
Well,
where all you're getting is, because they can't, as I say can't, I'm sure you could, because they're having difficulty capturing the fact that it's a person fighting a giant puppet. They shoot everything super close up, so all the fighting is, for lack of a better term, this. It's a person slapping a puppet, but the camera is right up there to stop you noticing the fact that it looks shit because it's somebody doing this. And it's, at first, hilarious. Unfortunately, it keeps going and it stops being as funny. But as Sisco's already pointed out, there's 2 fights in it. So that could have been a hilarious thing, where every time they get into the fights, oh, here we go again, more stupid fighting. But you don't get to see enough of it.
But the other thing is, the puppets are good enough that they're not that funny. You know, they're not great by any stretch of the imagination. But there's enough. And some of the people in the costumes, like Armin Shimerman's...
Weasel?
Yeah, Weasel.
Weasel looks okay.
His face makeup's great for the especially for the time. It was, you know, it was pretty damn good.
Late 80s, it's very good.
You know, the father of those fish kids, that wasn't a bad looking costume. They have lots of bar scenes. They don't do anything with them, but they have them. Just boobs, just to keep the people watching awake. Because all of a sudden, you're getting a bit bored with a bit of exposition. Boobs.
I'm going to be cutting
international gesture for boobs.
Cutting to so many boob shots that can't work as jokes properly because I have to censor them all.
You're going to be cutting to lots of black boxes.
Like, when I come to edit this film together for the watch along, usually what I do is I usually try and like keep enough of the narrative so people who haven't seen it sort of know what the story's supposed to be. Yeah. Then I also look for any spikes in the audio that are us laughing or saying something. For an awful lot of this film, other than groaning and every now and again just going, ugh, why? We sat there in silence. Except one thing, and I know that the sound waves are going to be going like this, because toward the end, as we've already mentioned, he gets drugged. Yeah?
Yeah.
Our hero gets drugged and he's going into the fight. And they're all arguing about the fact that he's nearly dead, he can't go into the fight, and he's like, I can do it. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, yes, I can do it. All right, fine, go in and do the fight. And I said to you, what if the story becomes, right, that because Ducat, Mark, he's the bad guy and it's because of him that he's drugged. What if his fall from grace is the fact that he's fucked up the human fighter so badly that the machine that levels all the fighters out compensates for it by dropping his fighter to a point where he's going and we have a final fight of a very drugged up drunk human going and the cyborg minotaur guy going that would be amazing, that would be great. And of course it's not that. It's nothing as fun or as inventive of that. It's the most boring, basic it could be. The human just wins. The new undefeated champion of the universe. Fuck this film. So, Sisco, why wouldn't you recommend Arena?
Because it's shit. For all the reasons we've already gone into. Look, it fails on every level. Oh, no, it doesn't. That's unfair. It doesn't fail on enough levels to be funny, and it fails on too many levels to be good. The acting talent in it is fine. They're doing their best with the shit they've given. Some of them are a little shaky. Our main character's fairly poo, and the lounge singer, she's pretty naff. Hamilton Camp, who is Robot L from Star Crash, he's okay, I suppose. He comes across as like a weird four-armed Frodo.
Multi-hand job Frodo.
Yeah. But yeah, they had everything they needed to be good. But the reason I would, that is why I would say shit, is that it
had the potential to be something, and it was nothing.
It had the potential to be a good film. It had the potential to be a hilariously bad film. But as it stands, it's just a really shit film.
A shit and boring film. And all of those reasons and more is why I would not recommend Arena. It's not funny. It's not fun. It's boring. It had the potential to be something, and it chose not to be.
I think I would say one of the reasons we started doing this is that we do go through the shit films because when you're a lover of bad movies and you're going through lots and lots of ones, you don't always know which ones are going to be good. We've gotten over the years quite good at picking out certain directors and things and actors that are generally in funny bad films, but you don't know. And you take a gamble, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And part of the idea behind Bad Movie Mountain was that we would filter out some of the shit, so that other people don't have to suffer through it. So we have suffered through Arena.
Don't suffer through Arena.
Yes.
You're not recommending it. We thought Eliminators was bad. Arena was so much worse. It's so bad. Fine. You stay down there. See if I care.
It's where it belongs.
Did that exact same thing happen to Eliminators? Was it Eliminators that fell off? And you're like, where you belong.
I feel bad because Eliminators
has a great start and a great a fun start and a fun end, and it has an inexcusable midsection. This has no midsection.
This is
the intro
inexcusable.
And then the end. You said that there's no 3-act structure to this. There is no second act.
No, there isn't.
He gets into the fight, he wins, he goes to the championship fight, he wins. End of film. Nice.
That could literally be the end.
I think that's pretty much the end. Where you belong. Oh no, the disc fell out.
I suppose technically the slums you went to 3 times, I think.
Sort of.
That was the slums in the arena. They're the
whatever.
two,
none of it matters. Whatever. It's
but that's the other thing. You don't establish. There's nothing to establish the world. They should have started with a text scroll
or something or anything
or somebody narrating.
Start with anything. It doesn't start with anything. It's just meaningless, contextless clips of the announcer saying something about Horn and Spinner. We haven't even mentioned how lazy the names are. Fuck it, we've spoken about it enough. You need to draw Arena so I can put it on the shelf of shit.
Oh, God. I didn't want to draw Arena.
Well, you either draw it or you watch it again.
Okay, I'll draw it.
There you go. You and Meeks can finish this. Oh no, Meeks is drunk.
Don't watch Arena.
Very good. Man versus bear.
Bear wins. And
Ah, yes. Your artwork. Well, you see the problem with that is your hastily drawn image is better than the actual costume for Horn. Yes. All right.
Right. And this, we have now watched the top 2. We still have 50% of the tape to go. 2 more movies. Hopefully they will be better than Eliminators. They'll have to be better than Man vs. Monster Arena. So yeah, this goes back onto the mountain.
Back for a choice, huh?
It's a good thing it is high up because otherwise it would be a real pain in the ass to do this. It's wobbly enough as it is.
Well, you know.
Back on the mountain.
Arena goes on the shelf of shit. Boring, annoying, irritating protagonist. Dull, predictable, bland story. Wasted sci-fi actors.
Yes, the wasting of the talent is particularly unforgivable. I mean, you had Marc Alaimo, you had a Babylon 5 and Star Trek reunion before either of those shows were out. I remember where the bloody thing is now. There we go. That'll do.
Here's the problem, right? You now have a shelf full of Star Trek books that just says shit. So everyone's just going to think, oh, your Star Trek books are shit.
I suddenly hate Star Trek books. Yeah. That's a small problem. Unlike, Arena, which had big problems. Mainly the fact that it was terrible and boring and dull. It should literally not be possible for a film with, all those monsters fighting men to be that dull. I mean, like, how do you make a monster fighting thing that boring and shit and bland? And